Hey dolls! Welcome back and thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. If you're new here, my name is Amber Michawn and I do weekly DIYs, hauls, and other fun things. If you're not new, hey doll, hey! So in today's video, I am sharing my top Christmas DIYs from last year. I really hope you guys enjoy it. I'm so excited to finally get Christmas all to you guys, and I'm super excited to start some fresh new DIYs. I have so many ideas and have gotten so much inspiration lately. So let's jump right in. Okay, can you get down now? Maybe? No.
Is this what you want now? Feels like you're looking for something better.
For this DIY, we're going to be using some of these elf feet that I got from Dollar Tree, as well as this flowers and garden bucket. I used this for a previous spring DIY about a year ago. So all this stuff was used previously. I thought I was going to use this red ribbon, but I ended up using something else. So first thing we're going to do is just take apart the elf feet or legs. So they are sewn together. So we're just going to go ahead and cut off that top flat part, and then we're going to go ahead and open this up and fill it with some stuff. So I had a spare rag on hand at my craft table that I'm going to go ahead and just cut down some pieces and stick it in there. Now you can fill these legs with anything you want, some cotton balls, some pillow filler or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Just fill it with something that will be able to have these legs stand up on their own. So once we have that filled, we're then going to go ahead and close this up with the top, I guess this is the stocking, the part of the stocking at the top. So we're going to go ahead and cut that in half to be able to give each leg its own stocking topper. Just apply this with some hot glue. Super simple. Don't need to sew anything back together. Hot glue pretty much fixes much of anything, right? So just hot glue all the parts necessary for you to close it up to make it look like some elf legs. I made 4 of them, and here is what they look like. And then to make them stand up, we're going to go ahead and use some bamboo skewers. I had these on hand already, so just go ahead and stick them in as best you can. Now, because I used a rag, it was a little bit harder to poke that stick through. So if you use cotton or something like that, it'll be a lot easier. Next thing after that, I'm going to use this placemat, and I'm actually using this in another DIY, but I really like the red backing of this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that down and then cut out the back part. So it's just red, which is where I'm using this in place of that red ribbon that I thought I was going to use. So after I cut that down, then I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this around my tin bucket using some hot glue. There was a few ways I was trying to figure out how to put this together, to tie it together or something. It didn't quite work, so I just started hot gluing the fabric to the side of the tin, and I just bunched it up where I wanted to. I was really looking for this to look like Santa's Christmas bag or a Christmas bucket, which is why I'm covering this in the red fabric and making it look just like a basket or a bucket of toys. That's where I'm going with this. So I am using this foam core, putting it down in there first, so that way I can stick my elf legs in there. And then I have some greenery from Christmas picks that I had from Dollar Tree, and I just had these kind of leftover lying around. I didn't have quite enough to fill up the entire bucket at this time, so I have since filled up my whole greenery stash in my craft room, but I just kind of filled those in and then stuck those elf legs inside of my foam core, and then using some presents that I had on hand, a couple that were kind of overused and kind of messed up. So I just kind of hid, the middle part to make it look like the elves were in there reaching for some toys. And I really like how it came out. It's so cute, so fun. Something that I think little kids would enjoy looking at and playing at. My son definitely loved playing with this. For our next DIY, I'm using this 3-piece like arrow sign from Dollar Tree along with this stake from Walmart. I got this a couple years ago, but anyways, I just took off the sleigh rides part, and I'm just going to use the stake. First, I'm using this Waverly chalk paint and truffle, as well as my mineral chalk paint. And what I'm going to do is remove the ribbon on the back side, and then I'm going to actually use the front side. Now, I don't do this anymore where I use the front side of these signs and sand down the glitter anymore, because it just kind of gets everywhere. I mean, you can if you have something underneath here to catch all the glitter. But I just sanded it down to remove the glitter and then painted all of my stakes or my signs that truffle chalk paint color using one coat. Then I used my mineral chalk paint and then kind of went over it while the paint was still a little bit wet to get some sort of like distressing look. I was looking for this sign to kind of just look a little bit rustic. So after my signs are painted, I'm going to go ahead and use my chalk paint marker and write some phrases. I have Santa's Workshop, Candy Cane Lane, and Hot Chocolate. Then I had this joy sign with the 2 candy canes. I thought I was going to be able to take the joy off and remove the backing from where it was on the candy cane, but I couldn't take like the glue part off, so I had to hot glue it back on there and put the candy canes on the candy cane lane part. Then I went back and took my chalk paint marker and just kind of did a little bit of detailing on the signs just to make it look like the snow, like it was snowing and the snow kind of just fell on the sign and it's just kind of sitting there. That's kind of where I was going with this. Wanted it to be just fun and something cute, just some fun decor for you to put around your house. And I did some little dots as well to make it look a little bit more like snow had fallen on it. And then for the rest of the signs, I just did a little bit more detailing as well by putting some ribbon on there. I think this is the gingham ribbon, and then some twine. And then I just hot glued them down to the stake in different kind of directions. And I really like how this turned out. Super cute. I ended up putting it into the same bucket from the elf DIY, and I thought that it was super cute to add more florals to the back of it and just something really, really fun. For our next DIY, I am using this perpetual calendar that I got from Target's Dollar Spot for $5. I thought it would be really cool and really fun to use it for a Christmas countdown. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do here. So we're going to go ahead and open that up and then take everything out. So this calendar has all of the months of the year and the date number. So all I'm doing is just going to go ahead and slide these cards in. I'm not doing any painting or anything. This one is super, super simple and can be done in like 10 minutes. So the first thing I did was put all of the numbers in there. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my Sharpie and go ahead and write a phrase, Christmas countdown. Now, I think I literally use all of the months of the year cards for this to figure out how I wanted to write my phrase and what I wanted to do. I ended up finally figuring out what I wanted to do, and I ended up figuring out that I just wanted to put countdown to Christmas. So I put that in there, and then I'm taking this red ribbon from Dollar Tree and going to make a bow out of that. I'm not the best at making bows, but all I did was just cut it long enough that I needed it, and then scrunched the middle up, tied it up with some twine, cut down the tails a little bit, and then hot glued it to the front. And then I also used this greenery and pine cone from this bell that I got from Dollar Tree and hot glued that on the middle of that bow as well. And then for the little stopper to, figure out how many days left until Christmas, I'm going ahead and taking a thumbtack. Now, you don't have to do this. I'm just going to go ahead and take a thumbtack and wrap that in some twine around some boxwood picks. And then I went ahead and hot glued some berries on the front of that so you don't really see the thumbtack. And I thought that was just really cute. And I really like how simple this is and something just fun for some kids to go ahead and put down how many days left until Christmas. Next up, I am taking a pie pan and a cake pan from Dollar Tree, as well as a a candle holder, some nautical rope, and then my Waverly chalk paint in mineral. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and hot glue my nautical rope around the back or the bottom side of both of my pans. So basically you have to, I'm pretty sure we've seen a lot of people do this where you just hot glue it all the way down. You can't skip any spots. And I just wrapped it all around so that way you didn't see any of the silver bottom part. Now, it's not the rim, it's just the bottom part of the outside of both of the pans. And then I painted the pans that mineral chalk paint color. And I just did one good coverage of both of these pans. After they were dry, I went ahead and hot glued my candle holder to the middle of the pie pan and then the cake pan on top. And I just styled this with some cute Christmas picks and other things that I had lying around. It's definitely not as full as it could be, but just to give you a sense of what you could do with it. And I really like this tier tray because you can totally use it year round. Next, we're going to go ahead and take these items. We have a circular mirror from Dollar Tree, some twine, some boxwood picks. I got these from Walmart. They're the glitter boxwood picks, as well as some berries from their picks. And these buffalo check ribbons actually came, or the bows came from Dollar General, but they were still $1. So I went ahead and removed the contents of the mirror. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint this mirror frame, this moss green color. I wanted to paint it this color because this is going to end up being a wreath. After I painted that and it dried, I went ahead and started removing my glitter boxwood picks. And I didn't cut anything down. You know, these, you could just take them off of the stems. And I just hot glued them down around the perimeter of this wreath, or now the frame. So I'm just hot gluing them down, just using a little bit on the stems. The next thing I did was start to fill in all of the openings or the voids that were on the frame with the rest of the glitter picks. And then I started with the ones that weren't glitter on the inside. And then the way that I hot glued these down, I did them in all one direction, but to have it look like it was kind of fraying out like most wreaths do. So once I was done with that, I went ahead and took the berries and the pine cones from picks that I had. I just kind of deconstructed this pick that I got from, I think I got this from Walmart or Hobby Lobby. I can't really remember. And I just hot glued everything to the front, and anything that I didn't have to hot glue, I kind of just stuck in there that had their little wire picks and everything, and just kind of played around with everything until I was satisfied with the look of it. Then I went ahead and took one of those buffalo check bows. I removed the little shiny red ribbon that came on it for the middle, and then wrapped my own twine around that to give it more of a farmhouse feel. And then I went ahead and hot glued that onto the front of the wreath, and I love how this came out. Take this buffalo check placemat that I had from my previous DIY with the elf's feet. So this is the front part of that placemat. So I'm cutting just kind of strips on this. So the strips I'm cutting are going to be 2 sets of like the checkered squares that you see, and just cutting that all the way down, and then going to hot glue that down to the wreath form and just wrap that all around until I get all the way to the end. And this one piece actually, or this one piece of placemat actually did the job for it. I didn't need another one, and I actually think I had one more piece left over. After that was complete, I took this ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree. It's like a burlap spool, and it has like Merry Christmas and ho 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 and joy and all that. So I made a bow out of that and hot glued that to the front. And then I got this window pane from Target's Dollar Spot for $5. a couple of years ago, and so I'm just using that to act as the vehicle to hang my wreath on here. So I went ahead and tied some twine onto it because I really didn't want to hot glue it down. So I just basically tied it around onto the wreath and then tied it to the back of the window. And then the next thing I did is took some more of my boxwood picks and put them on the top. So I cut those down, wrapped those up in some twine to get like one piece. I was almost trying to make this look like mistletoe, even though it doesn't have like the berries or anything on it. But anyways, I tied those together and then just hot glued that to the front top of the window pane. Next up, I am taking these bows again, and I'm going to go ahead and use them for this sleigh. So I got this sleigh from Target's Dollar Spot. I think it was $5, and I went ahead and opened up one of the bows, or actually I used two of them, and wrapped them on the bottom of this sleigh. Now, I lost the footage of it, so I couldn't show you that, but all you do is just hot glue it down to the very bottom of the sleigh. The next thing I'm going to do is take this reindeer ornament that has just the reindeer head and like the brown woodsy leaf to it, and I'm going to remove that and then hot glue this reindeer head to the front of this sleigh. Now it doesn't go on completely straight, like it kind of leans forward. So what I had to do was take a paint like bottle that I had and hold it up so that way it just set nicely. Next thing I did is took this old piece of foam core and wrapped up some of my old Christmas like tree picks or something, those greenery stem things, and I just hot glued that down. So then after that foam core was wrapped up, I just took a bunch of the Christmas picks that I got from not only Dollar Tree but also Walmart and Hobby Lobby, and just kind of started playing around with the placement and everything. Just wanted this to be another fun kind of DIY to do, and just something really, really pretty and festive. I really do love traditional colors for Christmas. I know I'm not a traditional fall person, but Christmas I am all in for the reds and greens. And I love how easy, how quick, how simple, and how cute this is. Next, we're going to take that placemat again. Well, it's another one, and we're going to go ahead and make a quick pillow out of it. So for my filler, I never really get any pillow filler. I don't know why. I should probably invest in getting that. But all I'm using is actually the tree skirt from Dollar Tree. So those flimsy kind of, thin ones, I'm just using that as a filler. So what I do is just separate the fabric from each other. I cut down the one of the corners of this placemat and make a hole large enough so that I can fit the tree skirt in there. So then I just start stuffing it all in there and kind of patting it down just to make sure that it lays down nicely. And yeah, pretty simple. And then all I do is just hot glue the corner that I cut. I hot glue that back together. And then to hide the imperfection of it, I went ahead and had this joy medallion that I got from Dollar Tree, I believe. No, I got this from Walmart, and I just gonna hot glue that to the top corner. It's more of a decor pillow, not a usable pillow, and I thought it was still pretty cute to have just something to contrast the buffalo check pattern. I really, really do like this. It's super cute, and just to have on probably a couch you don't sit on or a bench or something. Next up, I took 2 of these vases from Dollar Tree and some flat white paint that I got from Walmart and just spray painted that white. And then all I did was stick some Christmas greenery in here. This is from Walmart. This cost me $1.27, I believe. And yeah, just stuck it in there. Super cute. A really good piece for you to have with the rest of your decor sets that you put up in your house. For the next DIY, I'm doing another tiered tray. So I'm using 2 of the pie pans from Dollar Tree, the candle holders, and some nautical rope. So I rarely ever do tiered trays. These are probably the first 2 that I've done, and maybe the last 2. I think I did another like glittery one, but I don't do them more as often as I probably should. I really like them. I don't know. I don't ever do them. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see me do more tiered trays or even just decorate tiered trays. Anyways, for this one, all I did was went ahead and wrapped the nautical rope around the bottom of it. So I covered completely the bottom side of it. I didn't do any painting of these at all, but I did paint 2 of the candle stick holders with my white chalk paint, my white Waverly chalk paint. And then I went ahead and did a combination of hot glue and E6000 to put down the candlestick holders, one on top of the other. So one is right side up and the other one is upside down on the other one. And then put the other pan right on top, and then just decorate this super cute with some Christmas stuff. I really do like this. This tier tray has been up in my house ever since I've done this DIY, and I've have a lot of fun decorating it year round with all of the seasons. It's super cute with my fall stuff in it now. Go to Instagram at DIY with Amber and you will see a picture of it. So cute. Next, we're going to go ahead and take 6 of these pumpkins from Walmart. They were 98 cents. I got them a couple of years ago and I did a fall DIY with them. So I'm going to reuse them to make them snowmen. So all I did was remove them from their rods, which I'm going to reuse. And I sanded them down with some sandpaper from Dollar Tree. And I took all the glitter off and removed all of the stems. So I'm going to reuse literally everything that I have here. So once I sanded down the entire or all the pumpkins from the glitter, I went ahead and painted them all white. And I think I did about 2 coats of the white chalk paint, and I put them back together with my dowel rods. And then I took this felt sheet that I got from Hobby Lobby and I just cut down a small vertical piece on it. I did it a couple times because I didn't have any straight pieces, and all I did was wrap it around in between the top and the middle pumpkin. I'm trying to make it look like a scarf, like this pumpkin has a scarf. So I took this candle holder that I got from the Goodwill for like 25 cents. And I removed the ribbon and the pine cones from the candlestick holder. And I just hot glued the little pine cones on there because I didn't have any pine cones that small at this time. And the next thing I did was take the top of the pumpkin, so the stem, and I put that as the nose for the pumpkin. Then I'm taking some black paint or ink. This is chalk paint and ink, and the bottom of my foam brush, and go ahead and making the eyes for this snowman. And then I just hot glued this hat ornament from Dollar Tree right on top. And I made 2 of these snowmen, and I just did the same thing with the second one, but hot glued that ribbon from that candlestick holder from the Goodwill on the other one. And I think these are so cute. Next up, you're going to take a charger from Dollar Tree or anywhere and take some pine cones from Dollar Tree or Dollar General. I got mine from Dollar General for about $1 because more come in the pack at the time. So what I did was first set my pine cones up around my tray. I did the ones that were not frosted on the outside and the frosted tip pine cones on the inside because I didn't have enough regular or non-frosted pine cones. And all I'm doing is going ahead and hot gluing them down around. Super easy. Make sure that the twine rope that's attached to the bottom are going towards the middle of the tray so that way that they're not seen. Super easy, and it turns out super cute. And next, after that, I went ahead and took this cylinder vase from Dollar Tree along with some burlap, wrapped that around the center, close to like the center bottom of the vase, hot glued that down, and then hot glued some Christmas leaves and berries to the front and put that in the center of the tray. Then took my green ties and then filled in the voids of where you could see the charger. Super cute. I really like how simple this is and totally a nice like centerpiece or part of a centerpiece of a table. Next, we're going to take these gold glittery branches from Dollar Tree along with some LED candle lights. So we're going to cut those down and then we're going to go ahead and hot glue them to the outside of the LED light. And you're just going to go around until it's completely full. It's not going to look full at the bottom because the branches are so far apart, but towards the middle and the top, they will. So then after that, to cover up the void of making it look scarce on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and take some burlap and fold that in half and then hot glue it to the bottom of the LED lights. Then I took these little metal houses I got from Target's Dollar Spot and then go ahead and take some picks from Dollar Tree and just kind of stage it up, make it look really pretty, really fun. I really love how this looks. It's really a good eye catcher during the holidays in my house. The next thing we're doing is taking this 11x14 photo frame from Dollar Tree as well as some chalkboard spray paint. Spray painted that completely, let it dry overnight, and then when I handled it, I accidentally cracked it, so that kind of sucked, but hey. Moving on to go ahead and scoring this. Since I spray painted it all around, I'm going to go ahead and score it with some chalk all around, and all you're going to do is just, kind of like color it in with the chalk. I guess that's the easiest way I could explain it. The next thing I did is took my ruler and went ahead and measured out where my numbers could be. I messed this up a few times and had to go back over it and do it again. So basically all you're doing is just figuring out the right amount of space that you need all your numbers to be, because I had my phrase days until Christmas right at the top, but I also wanted to make sure that I didn't do any writing where my crack was. Then I took my red acrylic paint and went ahead and made some cute little like Christmas dots with in between my little design that I did, and then made a bow using this red ribbon, and I also used some burlap and cut down the ends to make the burlap a little bit more frayed, and then I hot glued that to the corner of my picture frame or my photo frame where that crack was, along with a pine cone just to hide that crack, because you could totally see it if you're looking up close. But I really love how this looks. Next thing we're doing is another tier tray. Which I say that I don't do it a lot on my channel, but these are literally the only times that I've done tier trays. So I'm taking 2 of these tall cylinder vases from Dollar Tree along with some glitter that I picked up from Walmart, and using some Mod Podge, I went ahead and smoothed that in a thin layer around both of the glasses and sprinkled on my glitter to them. Next thing I'm doing is taking a pizza pan, a pie pan, and a cake pan, and I spray painted those using my flat black spray paint, and then I'm just hot gluing them down. So I use a combination of E6000 and hot glue to put down both of these vases on the bottom and in the middle of the pans. And then what I did is I used some antique white paint and was trying to distress it a little bit. It didn't really do what I wanted it to. So before it dried, I attempted to take a wet baby wipe. Of course, baby wipes are wet. I took a baby wipe and tried to wipe it down. And yeah, I mean, it did the best that it could. I went ahead and styled this with some cute Christmas items that I had on hand. I just love how glittery and how fancy this looks. Alright dolls, that's all I have for you today on my top Christmas DIYs so far that I've done on my channel. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye!